Kyveza, hard mode, on preservation evoker, for some reason. This is a very long kill, and the biggest challenge you'll face is just staying locked in for 12 to 14 minutes. My brand is running Heterang and Bedded Aegis. He is not high level, and my Curio's a level 1, since most of that stuff isn't available this week. I'm also about 685 item level. Preservation is probably one of the toughest picks in the game for this, since our DPS kinda sucks, and her fast attacks will push back your living flames. You're also going to be moving a ton, and won't get much time to cast outside of hover, which we're going to use very carefully. If you want a quicker kill, play Devastation. If you want the most satisfying boss kill of your life, stay Prez. I'd highly recommend doing this later in the season, at 700 plus item level. She took me about 200 pulls, and that's probably about average in this gear. I'm going to explain a few of the mechanics here, and then I'm just going to shut up and let you watch, since I probably can't talk about this fight for 14 minutes. The boss has like 4 mechanics that'll just cycle over and over again, and the boss will get a 5% damage buff every time she does one complete cycle. So first we'll look at the rifts here. Bran will fuck you a lot on these and just jump somewhere random. You might see someone in the video, sometimes that's just a wipe, sometimes you can play around it. When the rifts are up, you're going to take a lot of damage, so you need to heal yourself for a lot here. I tried to prioritize spells that would give me like a damage kickback, so like Reversion or Verdant Embrace for Ancient Flame. You're basically just looking to heal yourself as efficiently as possible, so you can spend the rest of your time DPSing. This is the little shell game Find Me mechanic. Honestly, I don't have any tips for this one, you just have to watch closely. What you can do is cast Reversion on yourself while that happens to keep your temporal compression stacks. But like really focus on the game, so if it's too much, just don't worry about it. Every time knives go out, I hover, so that I can keep DPSing while I dodge. You technically don't have a DPS timer, but we're human, and a 14-minute kill is already a lot, so if you're also dropping a lot of DPS GCDs, then you're going to be here for a very long time. So this is the Dark Massacre. This will kill you a lot when you're new, and then it's probably the most reliable mechanic once you're experienced. You pretty much just have to turn your camera to face them. Like 2 will spawn at a time, and then when 1 goes, the 3rd will spawn, and so on. So you can kind of see in advance where you're going to need to turn. You can see here I'm trying to keep Fire Breath on cooldown as much as I can. We are running Nozdormu's Teachings, the only place it's truly useful, so that we can reset the cooldown on Fire Breath. Eventually you'll have your like Season 3 tier set, and that's going to make things a lot easier, since you'll get Tip the Scales on a 1-minute cooldown. So every time she does this shell game here, she'll gain 5% damage after. That's like 1 complete cycle. You'll see here Bran is summoned as Monkey. It's really annoying because it'll chase the clones around and distract you, but we persevere. Monkey being up there is so fucking troll. Doing the fight as Prez, you're really just trying to do as much damage as possible. Haste is very useful here because you're already trying to fit in cast, and it's a really good DPS stat. You obviously would want to drop as much mastery as possible, but it just depends what gear you have available. I didn't have much gear available, so I still have like 13k mastery. It's not that big a deal. Oh, you'll want some kind of defensive running for each of these like suck-ins, so I usually rotated Obsidian Scales and Renewing Blaze. You want to have hover running for all of these Dark Massacres, since it makes it a lot easier to face them while not losing any DPS uptime. I like to go really far with these knives, just get out of there. If you stay in close to the boss, then the movement gets really tight. Do lust on the pull. If you are in the same gear as me, you'll get a 2nd lust, so you may as well use it. I pot as well, and I have a macro that like uses them both together. Sometimes these Dark Massacres are easy, and sometimes they're awful. It just depends if they spawn behind you or not. But once you're kind of used to the rhythm, it's fine. So this is the 3rd shell game here. You can see the boss is still at 67%. So we're settling in for a long one here. Oh, you have to click the one, by the way. Don't try and DPS it or anything like that. When you find the right clone, click it. After each shell game, you get like that 10-second window there you just saw where you get to just DPS the boss. That's really nice for Prez because our DPS uptime is really shit on this fight. Temporal Anomaly is a massive shield now, so use that wherever you can. You're kind of just getting crazy value. Bran is an absolute nightmare, by the way. Like he will wipe you a lot of times, and he doesn't even do very good DPS. Like you can see, he's doing 400k. Like he's doing Dragonflight DPS now on my boss. He at least hasn't trolled me with a bad rift so far, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Bran. At a higher level, like maybe he does a little bit more, but I doubt you're going to get much from him. You have to be on the lookout for when two of those Dark Massacre clones spawn on top of each other, because you can get baited into facing the third one, and then the second one will kill you. Since the fight just repeats like this, once you can do one cycle clean, you can basically kill the boss. The only thing that changes is the damage buff, and you'll notice like that shadow around the edge that slowly closes in on you. But you don't really need to use all the space anyway, so it's a very soft enrage. I don't know if it closes in all the way. I assume it kind of just stops, but I certainly wasn't going to test for longer than 14 minutes that it took me to kill it. So every time Tip is up here, we'll use it on Fire Breath. I'm trying to keep my temporal compression stacks high before I Fire Breath, since it does 5% more damage each. But realistically, you won't have that for all of them. It's really important that you keep DPSing while you're dodging these clones. Like you're in hover, you can cast your full rotation. Just don't even look at it. Just press your Living Flame button while you run around. It's worth casting Disintegrate when we have Essence Burst procs, since we're taking Titan's Gift for it, but you don't really have to cast it outside of that. I probably do sometimes. Like, the 1% differences in your DPS aren't really going to matter here. Just try and maximize how many DPS buttons you're pressing instead. $46. Some of those knives are always very close, but sometimes you just get away with a close knife, even if it looks like you might be dead. Whereas if it's a slightly off shadow, then you're just dead every time. A slightly off clone. You will get quite close to death just from the boss melees. You may even die to it a few times. Make sure your Verdant Embrace or Aversion are on a button that you can hit easily, since sometimes you're running and you just need to hit something that'll give you a little bit of healing. $36. 27. Oh no, the monkey. Dean? Oh, monkey.